final part of this video series deals with what do you do when you know deep down in your heart and your brain that you did not break something, but you're being accused of breaking it, or it's implied that you broke it, and how you should handle it. This happened to us a couple of years ago. I go to a hotel room to replace a screen on a machine. There's some party going on in the hotel room. It's a pretty nice hotel suite on 59th Street. And the guy, I remember this very, very well, because as I was replacing the screen and waiting to get paid, it took at least 1 minute. Now, technicians may know there are people that do this. Here you go, when they pay you, and there are people who do this. As if it's just disgusting that they even have to pay for your services. And the second one was what this one was. So I figured this is going to be some trouble. So 45 seconds, he looks at the screen, not a mark on it, no crack, no stuck pixel, no nothing. And within 1 day, I get a phone call saying, I left, my screen's cracked, what do? And I go, damn, you got some bad luck. Well, you're already a customer, so instead of it being this price, it'll be this price. And he goes, well, I think it was already broken when I got it from you. I think it was already broken when I got it from you. Not an accusation, but just throwing it out there. This happens from time to time. And it's very, now, my first urge was to go, what are you talking about? I gave you a good screen. You looked at it and it worked. Are you trying to scam me? Fuck you! Now, instead of letting the Staten Island come out, since I've worked very hard to hide that accent, I decided to say something else. Now, there's the other opposite end of that. You must always be a diplomat. You always have to be a diplomat, even when you really don't want to. And don't get me wrong, you can cut somebody down, you can make them feel small, you can make them feel stupid, dumb, petty, you can make them feel like the piece of shit that they are, but you have to do it while being a diplomat. You cannot cut somebody down while cursing and screaming at them, because then you're just as wrong. And if you start cursing at somebody, or becoming irritated, or angry or defensive, they will do the same thing, and you will wind up creating this holy war for yourself over what may be a trivial issue. Now, the opposite is what some people do as well, and that's also wrong. That's,
oh, I'm sorry that you broke your screen again, sir. Please bring it back in so we can replace it for free. Of course, even though you broke it again, I'll replace it for free because I'm spineless and afraid of the repercussions on a social media website like Yelp. Oh.
That's also wrong for several reasons. The first is that if you do that, you will no longer have your self-respect. And if you don't respect yourself, you can't expect others to either. If others don't respect you, they're not going to bring devices to you, and your business will go in the shitter. The second is that bad reviews from bad people aren't always that bad. They actually add credibility to your page. If you have 45-star reviews and no 4, 3, 2, or 1-star reviews, people are going to think, that's not a real review site. If this was a real review site, why is it that there are no bad reviews? The third is that, a bad review from a bad person actually cancels itself out. People are going to read that review and go, so you mean he really didn't notice that it was broken until 2 days later? And they're going to think he's an idiot and move on. The third reason is, as I've said in the past, your clients are a reflection of your policy. So if your policy is every single person who breaks something twice gets another one for free if they threaten you, you will get the scum of the earth clients that they can manipulate you into fixing something twice in a row, even when they've broken. This is important because you don't want to get those type of clients. Now, a lot of the time when this happens, it's really not a big issue. And it's not even cracked. So there's no reason to go nuts over it. Just politely but firmly say, listen, I'm not sure what happened. I know that when I put that screen in there, it was not cracked. State the facts. Don't go nuts, just state the facts. I know that when I put that screen in there, it wasn't cracked. And I know that when you observed that screen at the time, it wasn't cracked. So bring it in. I don't know what happened. It could be something simple. Just bring it in, let me look at it, and I'll be happy to work with you. Now, a lot of reasonable people will say yes to that, but there are a lot of unreasonable people in this world, and the unreasonable people may do something like this. Well, am I going there to get it replaced again, or am I going there just so you can look at it and try to charge me more money? Now, if the second thing happens, you cannot react emotionally. A lot of people react emotionally in this business to get people off the phone or to get them to stop arguing with them. They'll react to the emotion as if it's fact, and you can't do that. The same thing will happen with viruses. I have seen people before say, listen, I just can't fix the virus in this computer. We'd have to reinstall. I'm very sorry. And they go, you can't fix it! You can't fix it! And they'll go, okay, we'll fix it, chillax. And then they go, and everybody behind them knew that they're not going to ever, fix that Windows install. And they know that they're in for an even bigger clusterfuck when they have to explain to the customer that there's nothing they can do. But because that technician reacted to an emotional outburst from a customer, they're screwed. And so are you. So when they say that, you say, listen, sir, I can look at it, but there's nothing else I can do. I'm sorry. Bring it in, I will look at it. I cannot guarantee anything. You have to stick to your guns. Now, when they bring it in, look at it. 99% of the time. 99% of the time, I'm telling you, it's going to be something silly or stupid. They dropped it, the hard drive may have momentarily crashed, and it reverted back to an old wallpaper that had a cloud on it, and they think that that cloud's a crack. They can have that really, really old leopard default wallpaper with the stars, and no joke, I've had people think the stars were dead pixels before. They could have, the screen protector could still be on, the screen protector could have a mark on it, and they could think that that mark is a crack. You really never know. And a lot of the times it's one of those, and just go, there you go. I'm sorry I didn't move during installation, you're good. And you're done. In this case, you may have felt really, really silly if you had offered them a free screen, or if you would curse them out over the phone. Now, again, on rare occasions, it may actually be cracked. And if they're bringing it to you and you see this big crack, and again, you know deep down that that crack was not there when you did this installation, now you have to create a fork in the road. What you want to do is get them to accuse you of doing it. Now, this may be counter to everything that I've been talking about and everything that you've learned during your technical career on how to handle customers. The end goal in customer service is to do a good job and have the customer not accuse you of anything. So getting them to accuse you of something may seem weird. So why am I suggesting it? I'm suggesting that you get them to accuse you of it because it forces them to use the rational section of their brain. You see, the reason that they're being passive-aggressive and saying, I don't know if you broke, I just know that I have a broken screen and it was like that after I got it from you. You'll notice that when people accuse you of things, they're not really accusing you, they're just throwing it out there and waiting for you to take the blame. Because they don't want to actually place the blame on you themselves. The reason they don't want to place the blame on you themselves is because the rational part of their brain knows it's ridiculous. But right now, the customer's not thinking, who has the cracked screen again, one day later, they're not thinking with the rational part of their brain, they're thinking with the wallet part of their brain. And the wallet part of their brain is saying, do whatever it takes to save money. Ignore logic. Do you want to pay $150 for this again? Do you want to pay $100 for this again? No. So say what you got to say to try to get it for free. What you want to do, now that's all going on inside their head. What you want to do is actually get that out of their mouth. Now once they have to get that involved, once they start getting their mouth involved, the rational, logical part of their brain becomes involved. So create a fork in the road. Create a fork that requires they use the logical part of their brain. Okay, sir, you inspected this at 45 seconds before you left. I know that because it took you 45 seconds to pay, and you looked at that screen very closely. And I looked at that screen very closely before I gave it to you. We both saw that it wasn't cracked. So, are you saying that there's no possibility that it broke in your apartment, in your bag on the way home, in that hotel where there was a party going on with some unsavory people? Or are you saying that that screen was actually cracked and that two grown men that are intelligent didn't really see that crack there? Now, there are two things that could happen. They can go, well, yeah, but actually no, I think my dog screwed with it. And in that gap between going, yay, oh, what's happening there is the wallet part of their brain is trying to get something out of their mouth to save them money, but the logical part of their brain just cannot allow that bullshit to continue. But what happened in that little yeah moment, that's a flap in your brain. Just like there's a flap in the back of your mouth that keeps food from going into your lungs and air from going into your stomach, there is a flap in the brain. It is our body's last-ditch effort to keep idiocy from coming out. You've now activated the logical part of their brain. And they'll remember, oh yeah, when my dog was using it as a frisbee, and I forgot to tell him you can only throw it 3 feet, not 6 feet, because it's the regular MacBook and not the Pro, and only the Pro can survive this. Whatever the fucking story they come up with, where they remember why it is they broke it and how it is they broke it, doesn't matter. You've now gotten out of liability for it. Now the next thing they can do is say, yes, neither of us noticed it was cracked. You broke it. Because you see what you've done here with this fork in the road. You've created the rational part. You've said that the rational fork in the road is the fork where you don't have to give them something for free. And the irrational fork in the road is where you have to give them for free. It's like that skit in the Honeymooners. Heads I win, tails you lose. Either way, you win. If they actually go for this fork in the road and say, yes, I did not notice the crack at the time, but I believe it actually was cracked. You gave me a cracked screen, and neither of us noticed it at the time, but when I got home, I magically saw the crack. Now, at this time, you know that there's no logical section of the brain being used, no reasonable section of the brain being used, which means that they have no logical or reasonable section of their brain. And at this time, you know that you can stop being a diplomat. I believe in treating people as well as possible for as long as possible. I believe in treating people with dignity and respect, regardless of who they are when I first meet them. But once you show me or give me proof that you're nuts, that has to go away. Then I can treat you like the piece of garbage that you are. At this point, you need to be calm, cool, and collected about telling this lunatic to get the hell out of your store. Or, no, there's no way in hell that I broke this. There's no way in hell that both of us didn't notice this. You're insane, and you need to leave. Because once somebody shows you that they're not logical, that they're not reasonable, then it's okay to be the person that I was in the beginning of the skit. Then it's okay to be angry at them, and irritated at them, and to attack them. That is only okay once they've proven themselves to be a lunatic. You have to wait and give them ample opportunity to show that they are irrational before you can treat them as such. Because if you treat them irrationally prematurely, it can blow up in your face. But once you know they're nuts, you need to treat this person as the nut that they are and get them the hell out.